All right, hey everybody. I am Georgie, your host for the BpFit podcast, and we are here in the Grand Bigger Picture Fitness, and we have a guest, Lincoln. So he is one of the trainers here, and is going to be leaving soon. So we wanted to get him on while we could. So Lincoln was one of our first trainers that we ever brought into Bigger Picture Fitness, actually.
I think I was the first official, because Adam was here as a physical therapist.
Yeah, I don't consider him a trainer. I mean, I don't like put that into the numbers. Yeah. And you just walked in and you signed up. So that kind of blew our minds.
Yeah, well, so I've been working within the same model for 5+ years now, because I was one of the original trainers at Self-Made San Marcos. Mm-hmm. And for one, so when I went into Self-Made San Marcos, I was a lot younger. And I started off maybe on not like the right foot in there. But then I had a good time. I left for a while, I went and traveled, I tried to get out of training. And then I came back and I trained for a while, and then things just kind of went south.
Okay.
And I was needing a new space to work, a new space to just reset and kind of restart. And I was actually with a friend, and he knew Christian. So he was like, hey, my buddy Christian's opening a gym, you should check it out.
Yeah.
And then I came in, I saw it, and I was like, hey, you guys have equipment, you have a space.
Yeah.
I want to sign up for a year.
Yep. I remember.
And I wanted to sign up for a year for my own benefit, because I am someone who I can make decisions and change plans quickly. So by signing a year contract, it made me commit to a space for a year.
It was something you felt like you had to do.
Yeah, I had to do it for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of this place?
Well, there's still construction. There's still construction being done.
Yeah, because it's changed. It still is changing and has changed a lot since you started. So it was very different.
It's changed dramatically. I loved the look of the gym, like the wood.
Valuable, yes.
It's just clean.
Yep.
And I was at the time shooting a lot of social media content.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So for me, like the lighting that was in here, it's just a super clean and professional look.
Yeah.
And it was really the exact look that I had always wished I had been in, but I was stuck in a red and black graffiti splattered gym for 5 years.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
And for the type of content I was trying to put out, I mean, because there was a time where I was just bodybuilding and shirtless photos was my brand.
Yep.
But I was trying to transition into a little more educational, professional brand.
Yep.
And this was kind of the perfect setting. There's no equipment in here aside from dumbbells, kettlebells.
Oh, that's right.
So
so it was just the rack.
I didn't even know how good the equipment was in here until, well, obviously by the time I started training, it was here. But when I looked at it, you're still kind of under construction.
Yeah.
And I remember I just verified. I was like, hey, if construction's not done, can I still train my clients?
Yeah, yeah.
And you guys were like, yes.
100%.
Because you had dumbbells, you had benches, you had medicine balls.
We had anything that was rep or rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't have the arsenal yet.
Yeah, you had plenty of usable equipment.
Totally. Yeah. Any good trainer should be able to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun restarting. Because I started with Self-Made, and then I got 5 years of experience watching them transition through 3 different owners.
Yeah.
Seeing just operationally what didn't go well, and just being experiencing it as a trainer. So coming in here, and then also at Self-Made, I worked as a lead trainer for about 6 months.
Like some power to do some things.
So I ran a trainer development program.
Yeah.
And I watched the culture in there change for the better. So I was like, an exciting part about starting new was I was like, I have the ability to have an impact on how the culture grows in here.
Yeah.
So, and you and Cameron and Christian were all extremely receptive
Yes.
of what I told you as well.
Yeah.
Because I could have came in and given you guys advice, and you guys could have
been like, get
done, yeah, like been like, well, cool, but we have our own plan, or we have our own vision. So it was I'm very grateful that you all accepted me and allowed me to like provide some of the insight and experiences that I've.
Yeah. Well, you were, I mean, not only the factor of being the first trainer, your willingness to output that was a big factor in creating the culture in this place, which I think has been nothing but positive. So
I would agree. Because there's just a higher level of professionals within this facility.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the standard that was created. And you guys created that standard as well. Because I was part of my content I was putting out workout videos, and I was shirtless in many of them.
Right.
And you kind of asked me to tone it down a little.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me to change it.
Yeah.
But then once I kind of saw how things were going, like even seeing Adam working with a physical therapy client,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel more professional for everybody if I just leave my clothes on.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can see how that could maybe help your business, but there's also times where the opposite has helped your business, right? So, and then that goes back to a matter of setting, right? We acclimate to our circumstance.
Whatever environment we're in.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So you took a little break from social media and also stopped going that route. What was the catalyst to that?
So I was putting a lot of time and energy into social media. I'd worked myself up between all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
You had a TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I was posting
that's like no zone for me.
Yeah, I was posting close to like 40 a week posts total.
Oh, dang.
And then I ran, because I was trying to grow my business online, and I was trying to run a specific program, and I ran basically a promotion. I ran a campaign.
Right.
And I finished the campaign and no one signed up for the program. And I was like, I'm putting so much time into nothing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let me take a break. And I started focusing more energy into the clients I already had.
Yeah.
Some of those also, I already had some people online.
Right.
But I noticed my business started to increase when I stopped spending so much time on social media, and I started genuinely providing my energy to the people who were already trusting me as a trainer. So rather than feeling desperate and being out there and trying to
get someone to
portray an image, and because I mean, maybe 5 to 7 years ago, it was a little easier on social media to grow a following.
Yeah.
Because even that's when my following grew. Was earlier back, 5-7 years ago.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle now.
Very much so. Because there's so many people putting out content.
Yeah.
And people putting out a lot of good content too.
Yeah, right. It's just more saturated, and it will continue to get that way. Yeah, what's your opinion on, I very much just dabble with that continuously on social media. As I think any trainer these days who chooses to be on social media, it's definitely a choice. But it's sometimes a choice you feel like you have to make. What do you think the future is of that? Do you have any projections on it's gonna?
So what I would say is kind of like how TikTok blew up, and people are blowing up on TikTok. I feel like it's harder to grow on an Instagram platform because it's been around for so long.
Right.
I think social media, you have to jump on the newest trend, and I've always been one who's I don't switch as quickly as I could.
Right.
Like when Instagram came out, I was not about it.
Right.
And I didn't become about it until it was more mainstream.
Yeah, no, when I was working in a different place, I didn't post fitness. I mean, maybe I did for me, but it was never in the intention to get clients. It was not a tool.
And it's
because I knew even then I was like, this is an uphill battle. Even then.
What I recommend to people for if they are utilizing social media is use it as a business card.
Yeah.
Like use it as, I mean, and I say that, I'm not using mine that way currently. I'm just kind of, since I'm transitioning out of the training world,
yeah,
I'm going back to having it be more just personal and
yeah, just the average Joe.
whatever, and that's even still like, haven't posted in like 5 months.
Right,
so.
well, because then there's less urgency too. Like,
Yes.
it's about when you want to, not like when I need to.
But I'd say for a trainer, if they're trying to utilize social media as a platform, post things that you'd want a potential client to see of you as an individual, but also as a professional. So that could be, you could be someone who's trying to just give out a lot of good information.
Yeah.
You could be someone who's trying to portray a certain personality.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing as trainers that we need to understand is we are our business, as in how we represent ourselves, our philosophies in life, our philosophies in training, it all intertwines.
Yeah.
So if you can just kind of be authentic to who you are, but portray it in a way to where you're showing off the qualities that you want other people to see in you as a professional. And just use it because then if they're interested in your work, you can be like, oh, go check out my Instagram, go check out my YouTube, wherever you have your content.
It's
then people can really get to know you without you having to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, definitely. And without having to like even have a website. Like a lot of people, you don't need to have that now because it's this.
Yeah, I really just use my website for booking clients.
Right.
That was it. Aside from that, I have 2 websites and I haven't really used either one.
Yeah. Nice. No, me too. I have one that I've never even built out.
Yeah.
But I continue to pay for the domain name in case I lose it. Don't want to regret that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to ask you though.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a year now.
Yes.
There's obviously I've witnessed. It's stressful. Running a business is very stressful.
Yeah.
How do you feel now, a year later, from where it started, where I walked in the door to there's construction still happening? How do you feel overall about how the gym has progressed?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, definitely. As much as me being kind of I don't want to say control freak, but like a perfectionist, we've talked about this. You're not going to have all the ducks in a row ever. And also life is just expectations. If you have expectations, it's normally going to fall short of that. So it's never going to be exactly how you thought. I am as of recently, just really soaking it all in. Like when this place is full of people, which it is now more, obviously, than it used to be, I'll stop and I'll be like, wow, like we have a gym. There's people here working. Like there's people doing stuff here. And that's like a little romantic way of viewing it. But there's definitely the stress of it, and then the reality is at any moment there would be less people in here that I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Realize that in this business model and this business, you're not ever going to get really a lot of stability, or we're still figuring out how we could, right? Based on the fact that there's other gyms with this business model that deal with the same thing. And so what would our business be like if we were able to kind of get that code or that key, figuring that stability out? In the very beginning, I was actually like shocked at how well we did. We were able to very quickly be profitable, which is not normal as a startup. When you look at other businesses, technically we're pretty dang lucky at being profitable so soon. But it's not like we have some people here who are impatient about it being
more successful quicker.
Yeah, more successful quicker. I always had just a really big level of just like hope and belief in this place, to be honest. I'm more stressed out now than in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, this is gonna sell itself.
Yeah.
Like it's, well, and then you were like the first one to reinforce that. I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is, it sold itself for you.
Yeah.
Which, not to say it can't and won't still, but it just has proven to be more complicated than that. Yeah. Which is, again, learning curve of anything.
Because really anything when it comes to business is just you're dealing with humans.
You're dealing with people, yes.
And humans are unpredictable.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own focus in life.
Right.
So like you have to find the people who kind of align with what works for both of you.
Yeah, and a lot of this was built on the idea of like my or Christian's ideas about training, right?
Yeah.
Or like, so it's like, actually not all trainers feel this way.
Yeah. We
thought for sure like, you should feel this way if you're experiencing this, and this would solve your issue in your business, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Some people don't care.
Yeah. Well, some people just coming into a space like this, starting a business, it's a huge leap.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, no matter if because most people just don't like change in general.
Of course.
Most people get very comfortable, which is part of the reason why I decided to leave, is because I saw myself getting very comfortable. And I was like, I need to do something different. I need to get out of my comfort zone so I can learn some new things.
Yeah.
And I can, so when the first time I left training, I tried to create a business to train trainers.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't experienced enough. But there was a moment where I realized I'm not good enough for this. And I went back to school, and that's when I got my master's in performance psychology.
Right.
I was like, there's a missing piece.
Yeah.
And I need to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
And now I still haven't, although I did create the trainer development program, I haven't created my own business out of trying to train trainers.
Right.
But I've kind of reached a similar point in life where I'm like, I'm doing well, but I feel like there's still something missing. So that's a part of my travels, is to fill in, to learn new, like that's why I'm going to like India and the Philippines. I'm going to places where the culture is very different.
Yeah.
Because I figure if I put myself into an environment like that, it will force me to see the world different. It will force me to see medicine, health very differently. And from there, hopefully, what I recognize that I don't know, hopefully I'll come back and there'll be some missing pieces filled in.
So you're a very calculated person.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, I would classify that. So do you think there's a part of you that there is, I don't sense this, but now after you saying that, a fear of success, a fear of like full success?
I think so. And I think that's
what it sounds like.
I think
it
that's
sounds like you actually do know you can do it, but you're still not, like that's the classic, like you're still not ready yet. Like you still have more work to do.
I think this trip is going to...
And I'm not jabbing you at your
No, I like the question. I agree with that. I feel like I have been the person to get in my own way.
Right. We all are. Everyone is.
I did some writing about it recently, about the fear of being great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because of the amount of responsibility it requires. Because the more, I heard Jordan Peterson make an interesting...
The best.
Yeah.
You know how much I love
Yeah,
him.
but it was basically your amount of success is in direct relation to the amount of responsibility that you take.
Of course.
So whether that is however many people that you look at any highly successful business that has tons of people working under them.
Yeah.
That business is responsible for the livelihood of hundreds of people, thousands of people when you get into the Googles, Amazons, Apples.
Of course.
So when I think there's a part of me that has always ran away from responsibility.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I can point out some of those reasons.
Yeah.
But a part of my traveling is to go deeper into those reasons, understand myself on a deeper level, and then hopefully come back living as more of a full version of myself versus maybe this person that I think I need to be, or this person I'm trying to like portray.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's great. That's very respected because that's the problem with, I'm just gonna boil it down. I would say specifically America. I won't say like the world, but really anyone taking responsibility for realizing you're in your own way is number one.
That conversation could go so many ways.
I know, yeah, definitely. Because, it depends on each person, but most of the time it's accepting that you've been denying, and then looking at what you're denying, then learning to feel what you're denying, and then actually embodying that.
Yep.
The thing that you are most afraid of, or that people are running away from most, is actually the key to you succeeding, usually.
That's why I'm leaving.
There you go.
That's the exact reason. And I because I have, so when I first planned to leave, it's become more calculated as time has progressed. So I am calculated, but I'm a little compulsive, which is part of the reason why I signed your contract.
Well, yeah, so
I can make decisions very quickly.
Okay.
And then just kind of figure it out as I go.
Okay.
But so signing the year contract, I knew I was here for a year.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ironic that at the year mark, I'm like,
literally.
I'm out.
I know, yeah.
But that wasn't planned. Like I didn't plan.
Well, then there's compulsivity there.
Yeah, but then I got that urge to travel.
And well, that's okay too.
It was like once I got that urge to travel, I had to travel. Because I looked at my life and I recognized everything that I could start to see what I was doing wrong in some ways.
Right. Well, imagine if, that's great, you're functioning from that place. Imagine if everyone did that. We'd have people probably doing what they're meant to be doing, and probably better at what they're doing because it's what they're meant to be doing. And we'd be fighting a lot less.
I agree. Well, and part of that's recognizing your own flaws.
Yeah,
and admitting to your own flaws.
Yeah, that's just saying goodbye to your ego.
And that would our country could do well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to slowly get at.
Yeah. Are we talking politics?
Yeah. No, that's not politics. That's, I think.
Well, it translates to all walks. It translates
to anything.
Yeah.
Getting anything done as a unified country, right? It doesn't matter what side or not. So what do you have any practices that have helped you get to these realizations? Like what does the word meditation mean to you? What does, say, like spiritual growth mean to you?
So I was very...
Meditation is different for everyone. But
meditation was a part of my daily routine for the longest period of time.
What kind of meditation can I have? Like, was there specific, or it would change?
It would depend on the day, so most of it was just first thing in the morning. I'd wake up and I'd meditate pretty much right away as a way to set my day on a good note.
So like a sitting there trying to focus, or like a mindfulness, or like a chant, because there's
a combination. I do a combination.
Okay.
So I would use
that would depend on the day too.
That depend on the day. I would use the app Insight Timer.
Yeah, me too.
And it'd be depending on the mood.
Yeah.
Typically it'd be somewhere between 5 and 20 minutes. But then what I would do every 6 weeks to 2 months, I'd take a day where I shut my phone off. I didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I would do a longer meditation. So I did up to 2 hours one time. It was a little much.
Yeah.
But I would do, on average, I would say an hour was my that. And that, I found those, not only those hour meditations, but those days disconnected where I wasn't on social media. I wouldn't call, I wouldn't text anyone, I wouldn't go out in public and see people really.
So
It opened my mind to new levels of connection with information that you're never going to access while you're just sitting on your phone. It provides space for your mind to I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah, we live in an age of information overload.
Yes.
Yeah, our human brains aren't designed for this. You go on, like specifically talking about a phone, you are bombarded. And not even that, then just everything like this, everything around us. It's just like firing our brain. It doesn't ever give us a chance to be with ourselves and actually process it. When you're constantly going, that's just like a fatigue of the brain almost. I think there's someone named Yogi Bhadran. I don't know if he's just like a, yogic philosopher guy. He said, he has a quote that in this age, which is like the Aquarian age of this time, we would have the most information we've ever been able to access as humans at all times. And a third would go mad, a third would die, and a third would wake up or, realize what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, because it makes you go crazy. Yeah. Go see out of this bubble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because what we were talking about, how our country's kind of, because it feels like a part of our country's going mad.
Right.
And then it seems as though everyone feels like they're woke these days.
Yeah.
And
everyone's got it figured out or something.
Everyone has it figured out, but it feels like a lot of people are going mad, and I might be one of them.
Right.
I always wonder if I'm in the...
That goes back to the thing though then. Yogi Bhatt, I don't know when this cut off, so I'm just gonna say it again.
Oh yeah.
A third will go mad, a third will wake up, and a third will die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Los Angeles control, like a lot of ideas are all coming right out of, they go everywhere to the country. And then so because we use this, that's, if you were to actually just go outside and not be on this and you lived in Nevada, you wouldn't be influenced by Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are.
But we're all on social media.
Well, we're all on social media, yeah.
Social media is such an interesting tool. It's
also
a tool. It's a tool, it's a crutch, but there's so many people that just scroll all day.
Yeah.
And I feel
I don't get it.
Every time I'm scrolling a lot is when I'm trying to distract myself.
Yeah, I noticed that I'm just like not, exactly.
Or I'm
not wanting to do what I'm supposed to be doing at that moment or something.
Or I don't have anything that I'm doing that I feel is purposeful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but let's go back to the meditation though.
Okay.
So, what did you find like certain staples that worked for you specifically? Like right now I have like non-negotiables because I'm trying to get in a better regular habit of meditation. So I do like 2 types of specific ones every single day. If I have time, I'll add one, like you're saying, like go on insight time or feel the mood. Because I've realized I require it.
Yeah.
And I do good with consistency in that as well. So like having something to be like, yes, I do this every day, and knowing that that's coming like creates comfort, and then that allows me to then actually be able to explore more.
So I would say that I have gotten away from that recently. When I decided to travel, I knew that my entire routine was going to change. Yeah. So I started to actually work out of my normal routine because I didn't. So I had a period of time where I was very structured, meditations, my workout. The way I was operating was, it was this one way of doing things, and it was great that I could create that discipline, but then I traveled for a period of time and I got really out of sorts, and I had an incident that I kind of lost my mind in a sense. So what I kind of recognized there was like, okay, well maybe the routines that I've set in place I feel so strongly that I need them that when I don't have them, I feel lost, or I don't have that foundation. Yeah. So when I decided I was going to travel, I still stay very just routine in general. Like I eat the same meals for like months on end. But it's an easy way. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah,
I
no,
can just
totally.
go to the grocery store, do the exact same shopping
Yeah.
that I do every single week. So I get in those routines.
It saves you time.
But when I knew I was going to travel, I'm going to have a totally different routine for the next 8 months.
Right.
So what I didn't want to do was be so ingrained in what I was doing that when I leave, I kind of like go off the rails.
Yeah.
So I've been intentionally less, like I haven't meditated consistently for months.
Yeah. Well, there's a time and a place for that, though.
But I also feel
periods of life required.
And I feel like over the next 6 to 8 months, I'm going to have way more time and space to get back into the meditation, get back into like deep writing, doing the things that are healthy for our mental processing. Yeah.
What does spiritual growth mean to you? Is that something that resonates with you at all?
I think spiritual growth is connecting to something greater than yourself.
That's great.
And because I think that can be kind of widespread through any religion.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
And some people aren't religious, and I don't think it has to even be connected to a religion. I think it's just understanding that there's something more in life than just our own selfish desires. And I think once you start to live in that way, is when you start to see spiritual growth in whatever form you see spirituality.
I've gone through, or I recently, I've had my periods of, battling with the religion and the spirituality and all of that. And I think one thing I've realized is actually that, or what I'm noticing in those, like, it's a good thing that people are being evolving of recognizing spirituality and, that there is something more than that. But one thing that I'm a little concerned about and that I've noticed is that it, in modern time, is going against what you're saying about it being about something bigger than you. A lot of the recent spiritual jargon is very much self-fulfilling, which is good because there's been an epic denial of that in probably the baby boomers or the our parents. There's been they had to actually push everything they were feeling aside and go to war or things like that. So it's a balance, and so it's good that that's coming up, but it's very dangerous that it's gonna maybe be all about me or I could just see that going in a funky way.
I feel like there's been some spirituality that has become, like you said, all about
if this person doesn't resonate with me, then they're dumb. Then they're just bad. And it's well, are you bad though?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's recognizing that we all are bad.
Yeah, totally.
In ways. There's another interesting Jordan Peterson.
Well, that's going back to Christianity.
Yeah. Well, and it's recognizing that the amount of good within you is equal to the amount of bad within you. So if you think that you're this ultra righteous person, also know that you can do horrific things. And I think once you start to recognize that you can sway either way, which is something I actually saw when I was on my ayahuasca trip in Peru, was both ends of the spectrum. So recognizing that I can kind of move forward in life with the fear and respect of the potential harm that I can cause, which I think has a beneficial effect on the amount of hopefully good I can bring into whatever environment I'm in.
Yeah, no, I've had a recent, speaking of Jordan Peterson, about amongst all the religions, it's been a good reminder to me recently. This is personal experience, 100%. I was raised in a very Christian household, and it's one that is good because it reminds you that we're all selfish.
Yeah.
And that we're all going to function from that place too. And you don't need to feel weird about it, and it's not as like, oh, we're all horrible. It's not like that, you know. But like,
it's healthy.
Yeah, Buddhism gets like very close. Like I would say gets like the closest to that. But Christianity is the one that kind of reminds you that to function, it's, you know, how can we do something for someone else?
Yeah.
That's like the main thing that people forget about that.
Yeah.
Whereas all the others are like, how can I get to a certain point?
Yeah.
Versus what can I do to help the homeless, or, you know, all that stuff.
What
There's
can I do to serve others?
To serve, which is what we're meant to do here, to make the world something other than what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Create something.
Yeah.
I think we're also recognizing that we're all creators as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that Christianity has maybe held some people back.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't
keep
on that.
Yeah, it doesn't push the creator within the individual.
Right, and that's where the recent spirituality has gotten very popular, because
Yep.
it's very much, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah. But, you know, Jesus says the kingdom is within you.
True.
Yeah. It's there, people don't realize. I think that, so that's another interesting one, because it's so like mainstream per se. It has a lot of, as I think most people know, and you know, like has been changed by humans a lot from what it originally was. My family's very involved in Orthodox Christianity right now, and so that's, you know, Orthodoxy is going back to the original. So it's like what was actually going on in Jerusalem.
That's actually pretty interesting.
It is. It's
Are
awesome.
you learning that as well?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about it. But what was I saying? That just that it's kind of going more back to originally what it was supposed to be, essentially. But along the way, through war and the Roman Empire and all that stuff, it gets changed, just like anything can. We want to take what we want and then leave the rest. But yeah, we're all powerful creators for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your main concerns with going there? Like, do you have any fears?
There's always getting sick.
Oh yeah.
Like you're eating different foods, you're around different, just in new environments that your body isn't used to dealing with.
Yeah.
So getting sick is probably the biggest concern.
You have some health tools in your pocket to avoid that? Some oregano oil?
I don't have oregano oil. Is that helpful?
Yeah, you should probably take that.
What's oregano oil do?
Just really big antibacterial.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is I'll get like very hippie weird. So you get some Nisaya oil, or just take some oil or Vaseline actually. Anytime you're on a plane or in somewhere, like put it in your nostrils, like around your nostrils, and it'll stop stuff from going in. Yeah. You could get some jasmine oil, but like Vaseline is what a lot of people do. So if you're like in a sketchy area,
just put some Vaseline on your nose. It prevents the bacteria.
Yeah, exactly. It'll kind of catch that stuff.
I would say though, aside from getting sick, I don't really have concerns.
Good.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should have more concerns than what I do.
Yeah.
But that's the big thing, because I don't know. I do not handle getting sick well.
Yeah.
I am like a huge baby when, like, if I get the flu, I'm like a child. I can't function. So if I go over there and get sick, you get like even food poisoning, anything like that, it just kind of, you know.
Yeah, I would get some digestive enzymes.
Yeah, I have some.
That's gonna like HCl, like something that like is like acidic, right? So it'll burn anything back.
Okay.
HCl, I think, is like the main, right? I need to fact check myself on that. Rather than just something that's gonna act as an enzyme You
Okay.
want the HCl enzymes.
Text me that information.
Yeah, and then I would get some sort of, oregano, because that's just going to act as a big antiviral. And again, that'll act in the gut too, so if you ate anything weird, taking some regular oregano oil might help.
I'll add that to my list, because I have basically just a
It'll
bag
just
of
hopefully kill some stuff.
Yeah, because if I could avoid that. Well, and I'm actually really interested, because I will be eating vegetarian at least the first month. I'm really interested to see how my body responds to that.
You're gonna wither away.
But I think it would be good for a period of time while I'm doing yoga.
Yeah.
I think my muscle mass will get in the way.
Yeah.
So I think a month of getting a little smaller won't necessarily be bad.
No, and there's periods of time where the body actually should go without. Like I'm a big meat, like you should eat meat. Like I think you know how I feel. You as well. Like it's important.
I function much better when I have red meat in my diet.
Yeah, me too.
Like I feel stronger. I feel more like I have better energy. Yeah.
Yep. No, but it's good for like there's different fasts that happen where you have to go low protein. Like you can get into, why people fast, like for autophagy would be like one reason why people fast, but it would, I dare say, be the most important or what people are going after, they don't even realize it.
Yep.
You can get that actually by, I recently learned, like just a low protein, like no more than 20 grams of protein a day. Your body can kick into that after 5 days. As long as you're doing is like not eating a bunch of sugar, right? Like it's still sugar. like you can't just be like chocolate.
Yeah.
Or like candy. And actually going back to, I want to rope like spirituality into health again. So really quick, not to be like a dork about orthodoxy now, but one thing that's very cool is they do fasting. Like it's a yearly, it's a cyclical thing. It's like going back to like we've lost that it's actually like there's things that are there to take care of your body within these things.
Yeah,
and we just want to be like, nah.
That was the one thing I actually integrated, because I found fasting to be very beneficial. I've had some of my clients, the couple, that was it. They've been utilizing fasting and it's worked wonders for them. Yeah. I fast. I did the one thing that I kept steady over the past like 4 months was I fasted 1 full day a week. Mm-hmm. So I'd like eat Sunday night and then Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And and it's good not only for health benefits like you're saying, but there's also like a discipline to it.
Right. Yeah.
And it also leaves your day wide open to do everything but eating and cooking and cleaning, and that it turned into a highly productive day. Yeah. Until I hit a certain point to where my brain just kind of shut down.
Right. Yeah. And not even so. Yeah. That's time restricted is different, but like I'm also even talking about like how they would have there's periods where you don't eat meat at a certain time, right? So they're unintentionally getting this benefit that I just talked about, and it's like inherent to that.
But there's probably, I'm assuming that there was more knowledge of what it was actually doing in some way.
Yeah.
Like, even though they may have recommended it for religious purposes, I'm sure there is some.
Well, yeah, no, totally. Like going back to like way back when that was like created as like how you should do things, they knew that.
Yeah.
Where now we've lost that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So because while you're studying the Orthodox, it talks about all of that within.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that they're not going to give a scientific explanation of it, but that's kind of like the beauty of it is that there's an inherent knowing already of what's good for the body through that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't they weren't able to dial in and be like, yes, you're entering this phase of blood glucose dropping, and but there's an inherent knowing of like, oh, this is good for us. We feel it.
They can feel it. Yeah. Because people are more intuitive.
Right.
Because I think that's the worst part about being on our phones all the time is that we are not in touch with our bodies. We're not in touch with what we're feeling.
Yeah. Going back to the age of information, it's just bombarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we should probably
close it.
Yeah,
close it.
Well, I have a client in 5 minutes.
That's right. All right. So that's it for today's episode, and he's going to be leaving to India, but where can people reach you if they want to follow you?
So Instagram, I'll
You
be,
have your Instagram?
yeah, Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on there.
Right. No, there's no pressure. I just mean
Yeah.
so people know.
Can't
who you
reach
are.
me.
Yeah. Yep. And that's another one in the books. Thanks, guys.